City of Aurora is now one vote away from a ban on homeless camping, despite deep disagreement over whether bans, like the one in Denver, actually does any good. Aurora's new conservative majority city council is on board with the idea. Our Steve Steger talked to researchers who examined whether sweeps help people out of homelessness.
I think it stems from, people are very uncomfortable with visible poverty.
Poverty that has only become more visible over the past 2 years, fueled by the pandemic.
Until we sort of grapple with that, I think we're going to see a lot of outcry from people saying, do something about this. And it's easier, right, to pass an ordinance and criminalize it than to actually find ways to help people who are unhoused.
Nantia Ruan is a professor of law at DU who's worked with her students to specifically research homelessness and the laws that impact those without a place to stay. That includes urban camping bans.
As we found that the cities were spending far more on enforcing the ordinances as opposed to helping those who are homeless.
Even with that finding, Aurora City Council took an initial vote Monday night to create its own camping ban, modeled off the one that allows sweeps on neighboring Denver streets.
This will not solve all of our issues with homelessness in Aurora. However, I think it is one tool in the tool belt that we can use because our current status quo is not working.
So it's not really solving or addressing the issue of unsheltered homelessness in the community. It's really moving the problem from one location to another.
Lauren Dunton is a researcher who studied homeless encampments for the federal government.
A lot of it comes down to a lack of affordable housing.
Aurora city leaders say they are more than 7,500 affordable housing units short. Dunton says her research has found that the best solution is allowing service providers to work with people living in encampments, getting them connected with services and housing. Simply pushing them out with little notice damages that.
If they are displaced quickly, they often lose track of where those people have gone, and those relationships are broken, and then they can't work with them to get them into housing.
Through her study of encampments, Dunton told me she's found many people in them are originally from the community where they're camping, which dispels a common misconception that many people are coming in from out of town. Aurora leaders have suggested a provision that would stop them from enforcing this camping ban if there are no shelter beds available at the time that, say, an officer were about to give a ticket to someone, Kyle.
And through our reporting on this over the years, Steve, we do know that there's a subset of the population experiencing homelessness that even if there are open shelter beds, they're going to choose not to take them.
There's a lot of concern over, hey, all my possessions are here and I can't bring them all with me to a shelter. There's concern over maybe you have a partner and you're being directed towards a shelter that's a men or women only shelter. There are a lot of difficulties, even sobriety. Someone who may have a drug problem, sobriety may be a requirement to be inside a shelter. All of those may stop people from going and taking that extra step, which is why a lot of advocates have suggested the idea of safe outdoor sites, which are happening in Denver and Aurora.
And when we talk about the strategies here, there's an unspoken strategy, which has actually been studied as well, which is the idea that if one city is mean to the homeless, they might just go down the road to a different city.
Yes, and actually that the studies show that a lot of people who are moved, if not most of them, in fact, one recent survey found about 70% of people said, when I get moved out of a campsite, I'm just going to go and camp somewhere else. And the fear of a lot of advocates is when you push people away from where they're camping, you're going to push them further away from services that might actually help them break the cycle.
Steve Steger, thank you.